Okay, the clock is showing 10:02. Andrew shared that we have a good number attending online, so we'll go ahead and get started. So thank you everybody for joining today. I think there's a couple people in person and uh, about uh, 30 or so people online. Yeah, good morning. It's the session today will be learning about AI, navigating professional development opportunities. My name is Kostas Yfantis. I work for the College of LAS in Atlas, the IT and online learning support unit of the college, and I'm an associate director for learning innovation. And I've been there for about 10 years, over 20 years at the university. So that's a few things about me. Those most people are joining online. I would say, go ahead and type up maybe the department you're with, so the other folks online get to know maybe a little bit about you in case they need to reach out. Um, so yeah, this is the session description. It's a lot of words there, and I did use Copilot to help me author it after giving it a prompt about what I was planning to present on today. But the learning outcomes for today are again, I I did come up with those and with a little assistance from Copilot. The blue is what I wrote, and the text in black, it's what Copilot helped me with from the learning outcomes. So we will talk about some professional development opportunities that I have completed, some that I have considered completing, and I'll invite you to share mainly in the chat opportunities that you have pursued. And the idea here is to see what is available, what you might motivate you to pursue something, decide to do something. And we'll talk a little bit about pricing, what resources you may have at your disposal here at the university to help you, yeah, pursue it. And the idea is to build an understanding of what is out there and some things that are applicable to our fields, our specific fields. So yeah, I put a list together a few milestones of my professional development journey with AI. I thought about, hey, how long have I been using AI? So my mind went to Google Maps. I wondered whether that's a form of artificial intelligence. And I asked Google, and Google confirmed my suspicion that Google Maps is a form of AI. It uses a lot of data, right? The fuel of AI. And now it's going to be using generative AI and natural language processing. Google told me. Spring 2023, my colleague in Atlas, Julie Baker, did research on how effective tools like Turnitin can be in detecting whether the students used AI to write papers. And Julie did great work early on, right? Because ChatGPT was released November 30th, 2022. So I was observing Julie's work, and we did communicate to the college the outcomes of that research. Fall 2023, I completed a 4-month professional development program called the Digital Gardener Initiative. It's out of Indiana University, and there is a professor of English, I believe, Justin, who facilitates it. It was great. We got to use ChatGPT and image generators, AI image, Adobe Firefly, if I'm remembering correctly. That was a great and an intensive experience. This involved, 1-hour meetings either every week or every other week. So you had to set aside quite a bit of time. Welcome. Continuing my journey, December 2024, and this is perhaps the most. This is the event. I read an article in the Wall Street Journal about which are the two professions with the lowest mortality rate from Alzheimer's disease. and I couldn't take a guess. So I read the entire article. It helped that I was on the airplane and I could focus. A few distractions. And those professions, right, are taxi drivers and ambulance drivers that do not use what I shared earlier, Google Maps. Because when you over rely, that's at least what I understood from the article, on Google Maps, there is a place in the brain, that hypothalamus, or I'm probably getting it wrong, that controls spatial orientation, that atrophies. So people who don't rely on Google Maps, that place in the brain is healthier and it expands and all that. So this actually made me think a lot about my use of Google Maps and other AI applications. As I like to share, my parents, right, and we spent a lot of money and time and effort for me to learn English. I grew up in another country. And if I rely on ChatGPT too much to write on my behalf, what will happen to my ability to write, speak, say, in the future? So yeah, I totally recommend this article. There are free versions of the research that the article cites. So if you are not subscribed to the Wall Street Journal, you can still read about this. And because of that article, I came back from vacation and I said, okay, let's get more serious about AI and its implications on my field of work, education, online learning. So I looked up a few opportunities and then I looked at EDUCAUSE, we're a member institution, and I completed a 2-week seminar on teaching with artificial intelligence at a very reasonable cost, $195. We will talk about this a little bit later. A few days ago, I was talking to a professor in my college, and they shared an article, uh, Diabolus Ec Machina, that talks about how a professor asked ChatGPT to review some of their writings and give them some feedback about what to write to an editor. And anyhow, I invite you to Google this, read it. I don't know if I have the link here or later on, but if you Google it, you should be able to find it. If not, feel free to email me. Basically, ChatGPT, the professor, according to the professor, it was lying. It actually was not reading what the professor had wrote, and it was making up stuff. And it admits that, and it admits to lying. So my skepticism about, artificial intelligence is a little higher than it was after reading this blog post. Today, how do I use AI today? I use Copilot probably several times a day. When I write an email that is too long and I need a little help with proofreading, hey, proofread this email, make it look better. Um, a lot of documents, proofreading, summarize this, summarize that. I have asked for more complicated tasks. One time, about a month ago, I asked both Copilot and ChatGPT to parse a large PDF, maybe 100 pages long, and give me a summary based on a pattern, a text pattern. Both of them failed miserably. That was another thing on my, faith in these tools, that they're not as smart as, sometimes I think they are. I I installed Google's Gemini app earlier this week, and on the bus now, I'm having conversations with it. And from time to time, I do use the free version of ChatGPT. I don't feel like paying for another subscription, and because of my concerns with data privacy, I stick to Copilot with data protection from our university for the most part. So I'll invite the audience at this point to share in the chat how they use ChatGPT. Again, this is in the spirit of learning from the participants, learning from each other. I know we have somebody attending in person. I'll call you out. Would you like to share with us how you use AI, if you use it at all?
Yeah, um, I use AI frequently. One of the things I mostly use AI to to get some idea about
To get ideas.
to get
I guess.
ideas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for example, when I develop the peer observation of teaching, which is the area of my work, I I have some dialogue with generative AI, and then yeah, exchanging some questions with each other.
Thank you.
Then polish my idea.
Okay. And your name and department?
My name is Yonghee Lee. I'm a teaching and learning specialist
Okay.
at CITL.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Yoon. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you. Andrew, can you share maybe one response if people shared anything or in the chat of how they use AI?
Let's see. We have Craig is saying he uses it to help with brainstorming sessions.
Yeah.
Dana uses it to for correcting syntax for statistical software packages. It's an iterative process to get it right. And Corey says, I can easily write emails too quickly and find they are misinterpreted as rude. I like to filter my emails through ChatGPT to get suggestions on adding gratitude and language that can help avoid miscommunications that can happen so frequently over email. Ernesto says he uses Notebook LM to create a morning podcast for long articles. He doesn't have time to read. Laura says, I use ChatGPT to summarize meetings or workshops, draft intros to some of our newsletters based on content. And in my other role as a GED instructor, I use it with my ESL students to practice grammar and conventions. Ning says, brainstorm for career exploration. And Susan says, using it to generate new problem sets for my courses, developing a problem generator for my students.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. A lot of creative uses there, helpful, right, to our day-to-day jobs. A lot of them more creative than how I use it, but there's something right to be said about the more you use it, maybe the more creative you get. And I do see that in my use of it, right? How I advance. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing. And moving on, maybe as last week, I spent about 5 minutes on Facebook, and I want to show you what the algorithm did, which I think it knows somehow that I was going to give this presentation today, or that I'm interested in professional development. So I basically I get a lot of posts about different kinds of professional development. This is a 7 month, I believe, subscription, $7 a month subscription to use AI to role play to improve your maybe personal, let's say, how you deal with conflict and chaos. Stanford sent me, or the company that Stanford uses, a lot of these 6 to 10 week professional development events are around $3,000. So, since I talked about budget, another one, a lot of them come from Purdue. I don't know if it's proximity, if I admire Neil Armstrong, a Purdue graduate, but this is actually more expensive. This is about $25,000. And these 6 came in the span of about 5 minutes or less of me scrolling. Another one from Johns Hopkins, multi-week one, around 3,000. Oxford, found me and they sent me another event. That's another $3,000 or so. But I looked at the video for this to see what it's all about. The video was 6 years old. So I'm like, maybe it's a little dated. But then Purdue, I don't like statistics, so the algorithm should not have sent a master's in applied statistics to me. Uh, Next slide. I find it funny because last night Purdue sent me on 2 different devices. They do have a master's in artificial intelligence. Okay, this is pricey, around $30,000, but you can spend, I believe, it's a 24-month program doing a master's on AI. Then I went to LinkedIn, and this was more intentional. I was not just scrolling. I went with the intention to see what I will see in the feed that people I'm connected to have shared. And first one was actually Summer of AI, which in my view is the best form of the professional development opportunities because it's there's no out-of-pocket expense. So thank you to our hosts, okay, and for hosting the Summer of AI and for inviting people from across campus to present and of course participate. Another one in LinkedIn that came was from Harvard Business Review. Uh, Short articles, right, that talk about artificial intelligence. What I want to share here is that we all have access to Harvard Business Review articles through our library and, of course, many other journals. But one of the most interesting that came to me on LinkedIn was a post by Rachel Horst. And I said, I know that name somewhere. And Rachel, even though as of 3 days ago, we were not connected on LinkedIn, now we are connected because Rachel also did the EDUCAUSE Teaching with AI 2 week seminar that I talked to you about. And we were in the breakout rooms together. She works for the University of British Columbia. So then I was looking at the post and I saw another familiar name, Bill Cope, who actually presented here, a couple of days ago or last week, College of Education, right? Bill and other faculty members there, they give a lot of presentations about the AI implications in their respective field. I looked at Rachel's post more carefully. Rachel has a PhD in education technology or instructional design or related field. So she had some profound things to say. So I'm just summarizing here about she's doing a paper on how entangled AI is, because we tend to think about things, not all of us, some of us, as one-dimensional. So basically, I think I want to read that article when it's done, and I'll show you a graphic next that she created, and basically with many different dimensions of AI, implications from ethics, right, to government use, to politics, to ecological, right, energy use, and I won't go into detail because of time, but I did add it here so folks can take a brief look. And I am looking forward to Rachel's article. Feel free to follow her on LinkedIn. But she's a very deep thinker, much deeper than me, and I remember that from our breakout sessions. So I was pleased that LinkedIn actually shared the post, and now I'm connected and I can continue, right, the relationship that started with the EDUCAUSE Teaching with AI event, continue it right into the future. CITL Summer of AI, since I mentioned it, I've attended a couple sessions so far, and I plan to attend more. I did the Illinois chat that Proshemek, I believe, facilitated. Thank you. And I want to follow that up with one of the co-inventors, right, will be coming here on July 2nd. So yesterday I missed Jim, I think, was doing on creating custom AI agents. But I do plan to be here next week for the Gen AI Matchmaker that is taking place here, and many other sessions. I think there's a couple of panels coming up in July that I plan to attend, and I invite everybody participating today to do so. And also send an email to your unit about Summer of AI if you've had a positive experience. Motivate them to join as well. Okay, like I said earlier, it's one of the best forms of professional development because there's no out-of-pocket expense. Moving on, where am I, right, with my AI and the knowledge I'm trying to bring to build? I'm very early on, and right as the field expands, gets more complicated, right? I may be getting, instead of forward, I may be getting closer to be a beginner. So anyhow, this graphic was generated by Copilot. I gave it some information about me, so how I felt, right, where I am in my journey. And Copilot didn't stop at creating the graph. It sent me some text after the graph that, I may feel like a beginner, but it's okay. Because, right, I'm still asking questions, I'm wondering. So if any of you in the audience feel this way, Copilot has a word or two of empathy and something motivational to keep us going. Okay. So let's go talk about some of the opportunities I did complete. EDUCAUSE, of course, I mentioned it multiple times now. That's very actually cost efficient. I believe my unit paid $195. Thank you to my supervisor and our business team for helping me with that. 2 weeks. So the reason I did it, it had a definitive start, a definitive end, shorter than a semester course, shorter than a semester course. There were 4 live 1 hour Zoom sessions. I believe they were 1 to 2 p.m. So pretty good time of the day. Gives you a chance to come at work, do your email, some meetings, and then right after lunch, hopefully you get your coffee to stay awake. But it's built around the Canvas course site that I believe is hosted by Chapman University, if my memory serves me right. Multimodal content, a lot of videos, a bit of text. I believe they used Canvas's Design Plus because as I moved from module to module, it tracked my progress with a nice bar there. There were some quizzes, if I remember correctly, and you do get to access the content for about a year. I forget the name of the facilitator, but they were high-level administrator in IT or online learning at Purdue University. The way it was structured, the facilitator, right, would welcome us, give like a 5-10 minute talk, and then most of the time was spent in breakout rooms where I got to meet Rachel. And actually, both of the people in the breakout rooms were from the same university, University of British Columbia. So it was good to have a little bit of international flair. Yeah, people from all over the world, mainly North America. And after we talked about what we talked about in the uh, breakout rooms, there was a Google Docs where we would write our learning outcomes, if you like, or the things we discussed, the summary, and then we would go back into the large room and the facilitator would share with everybody else. Okay. So I don't know, Yoon, if you or if anybody in the audience has any questions about the EDUCAUSE teaching with AI event, or if anybody else has done it. I don't know if they want to share on chat. Okay. But I'm pausing. Okay, for any questions. Okay, I'll move on to the next one. I actually haven't completed this. I started it. Maybe because it's free to me, and if, maybe my motivation is a little bit affected by that. But I did start the course by Professor Brunner. He's in Geese, and I believe he's their chief disruptor officer. So what very applicable, right, to the title to teach a course on artificial intelligence. It's an intro course, and Robert is very engaging. I've watched a couple of the videos. Maybe I'll take time this summer to complete the course. Okay, but the lesson here for us, professional development, as University of Illinois, right? Staff members, faculty members, graduate students, undergrad students, we all have access to Illinois Coursera, and courses, right, that are under the Illinois umbrella there's no out-of-pocket cost for us. So that's a tremendous, right, library, wealth of knowledge that we can access. So I don't know, I'll ask this question for the audience. Has anybody completed Robert's course? I don't know if you want to share on chat. Maybe some people were involved with creating it. If we have anybody from GIS helping Robert create it. Okay, thank you, Andrew. Moving on, I did buy a couple of books, and I went to Amazon and did some Google searches, Amazon searches, and one of the most recommended books is Sal Khan's, let's use his nickname, book on AI. Brave New Worlds, How AI Will Revolutionize Education. I have it here if you want to take a look at it. Whoops. And I read this on the bus, so it's great read because chapters are about I can do 2 chapters every bus ride. It's about 10-12 minutes of a bus ride for me, and you don't have to do it in sequence, so you can skip chapters, whatever piques your curiosity in terms of when you look at the table of contents. And yeah, it's one of many books, right, on the subject. Sal does over promote a little bit the Khan Academy, which right he created, right, and but it's okay. It's okay. I knew that, right? That was gonna be probably part of the read here, and I'd like to invite the audience, in the chat. I would say any books that either you started reading or you completed reading, uh, feel free to share in the chat why you found it right a good read. So yeah, I'll give. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, there's Laura says that she just started the book Teaching with AI, a practical guide to a new era of human learning.
Okay. And thank you for that suggestion. Okay, I think CITL also has a book club that becomes active in the spring and fall semesters. So I don't know if you're going to repeat doing that, Prashemek, but last semester I did not participate, but you had the topic was AI, if I'm not mistaken, and I remember reading about the books a little bit. Uh, in LAS, one of our professors is starting actually a book club, and our first meeting is tomorrow at 10 a.m. So if anybody has an interest in joining in person or remotely, send me an email. I think it's open to everybody, and I believe the book we will be reading is Sal's book on AI. So I have an excerpt from the book, a small chunk. I typed it up last night about how basically anticipate all professions to be impacted in one way or the other, right, by artificial intelligence. Andrew?
Yeah, we had 2 more to pick up in chat regarding books. Ashley says that she has also read Brave New Words and found it good because it focuses on how AI impacts education. She's also enjoyed reading Super Agency by Reid Hoffman and Greg Vito. And Tyler says Ethan Malick's Co-Intelligence is good.
Okay. Thank you for those suggestions. Okay, excellent. Moving on, I did an AI YouTube playlist. The playlist is what you see here on the PowerPoint. I haven't created a playlist yet. I plan to. But the links to the videos are here, and I'll show you 2 or 3 videos that I spent quite a bit of time the last 2 weeks watching videos. And I completed most of the ones here, all of the ones that are 30 minutes under. The other ones I watched a little bit, a few minutes. One early on video, let's say, early on since ChatGPT was released to the world, is an Illinois panel that includes local experts, right, on AI. There are many. One is Ted Underwood, a professor in the iSchool. And as I say in my closing remarks, there's a lot of great thinkers out there. A lot of them are local. So we should remember that. And they're a little easier to contact. Come give us a lecture, come interact with us. But you might recognize some names on this list. I added our new chancellor. There's actually many videos of our new chancellor talking about AI. And let's view a few of these. Just a minute or two from each video that I want to show. So I'm switching from the PowerPoint to my Chrome.
Question asking if the slides will be available.
Yes, I plan to make the slides available. How do we do that? Will CATL send an email or?
How about you email us and we
Okay.
can see about putting it with the recording.
Sounds good. Thank you. That sounds like a great idea. So first video I want to show is by a professor at George Mason University. I've actually watched this video about two times now, because I found him an engaging speaker.
You will either be competing against this or working with it, one or the other. I predict that if you're competing against this, probably you will lose. Not all of you will lose. If you want to be a football player, this is no threat, not for a long time. You just go ahead and do it. But if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an economist, anything where you work with ideas, work with words, work on a computer screen, this will change your life. And it will change.
So this is about 40 or so minutes from Tyler Cohen. I think the lecture takes place in Guatemala, and yeah, easy to listen to, thought-provoking. Next, I have, I believe Natasha is a K-12 teacher and somewhere in North Dakota. And let's see what she has to say about a minute.
The possibilities are only as limited as the user's imagination. We are living in a digitally progressive world. Shouldn't our schools reflect that? As Matt Miller from Ditch That Textbook said, this version of ChatGPT is the weakest, most rudimentary artificial intelligence of its kind our students will ever use.
So watching these videos, sometimes I lose my attention focus goes away, but sometimes it will not, and I will pick up something right that makes me think, and I'm like, wow, I haven't thought about that. That whatever we're using today, in a few weeks, months, will be a thing of the past. Something newer will come out, and so watching these videos, sometimes I do it over dinner, sometimes during breakfast. There's some good ideas that these folks have to say, have to share with us. Who remembers Daphne Kohler? Daphne is she's one of the co-founders of Coursera. And yeah, she's been on our campus. We back in the 2012s or 13s when we were looking at partnering with Coursera. I think she would come to campus trying to persuade us. And yep, computer scientist, I believe, from Stanford. And let's see what she has to say now about AI.
I'm not convinced that the current way in which we're designing AI systems is teaching us about human intelligence. It's teaching us about an intelligence. We're certainly learning about how to build an intelligence. I'm not sure that building planes has taught us how birds fly. I'm not sure that building LLMs has taught us how people reason. So I think it is a very worthy goal. I'm not sure that the path that we're on is necessarily going to lead us to that specific goal of understanding human cognition. On the other hand, I'm going to now agree with Kai-Fu, which is to say there are multiple other endeavors that one can undertake in this world of AI, which is to solve really hard, important, aspirational problems that people maybe are not capable of solving. And we will not get there by trying to replicate how people reason and the problems that you alluded to that I'm working on, which is problems in biology and health. People are actually really bad at solving those problems.
Yeah.
And I think that because people are really bad at finding these subtle patterns in very large amounts of heterogeneous, multimodal data, that just don't fit together into the kind of natural patterns that a baby learns when they're, interacting with the world. And so you can imagine that a different aspirational goal, not to diminish from Jan's goal, is to just build computers that are capable of addressing really hard societal problems, whether it's in health or in agriculture and the environment, climate change, and so on, that people are just not going to get there on their own. And so I think that is kind of two different paths, if you will. I'm not convinced
Oops.
that.
So yeah, Daphne right now co-founded another company. I forget the name, but it's focused on biological issues, medicine. I'm interested to see how the company does, and it was good to see her name given right online learning her past right endeavors there. And I have one more video, and one of the reasons of the videos is to kind of break the monotony of you listening to me, okay? But also, of course, to demonstrate the wealth of resources that we all have available in a platform like YouTube.
We have one more, we had a comment.
Please.
Corey says, I mean, I'm sure building airplanes has helped us learn how birds fly. How could it not?
Right. Yeah, no, and this is part of this reaction to the video, right, is the reason why I find these like resources important, so we can ask questions, right? And yeah, but the reason I did this clip is because it was short enough and made me think a little bit as well. Okay. One video that I plan to watch again is by Mustafa Suleiman, who I think is an executive in Microsoft currently, if I'm not mistaken. There is a popular book he has written as well that Bill Gates is promoting, but among other books. But let's see, here he talks about his nephew and who had some questions about AI. So I'll play about 1 more minute.
This is where the metaphors end. Here's what I'll tell Caspian next time he asks. AI isn't separate. AI isn't even, in some senses, new. AI is us. It's all of us. And this is perhaps the most promising and vital thing of all that even a 6-year-old can get a sense for. As we build out AI, we can and must reflect all that is good, all that we love, all that is special about humanity, our empathy, our kindness, our curiosity, and our creativity. This, I would argue, is the greatest challenge of the 21st century, but also the most wonderful, inspiring, and hopeful opportunity for all of us. Thank you.
Great video. One of the things Suleiman talked about is, we're building this AI world kind of from scratch. We have an opportunity to do everything right. So he adopts, it's kind of like an optimistic, and a lot of folks you're gonna hear, some of them adopt a dystopian, some adopt a pessimistic, right? Dystopian, some, utopian, so there's like, some of them are in between. They see both. Going back to the Diabolus Ex Machina article that I shared about AI not doing the work they promised to do, I forgot to mention this, but it made me think about these AI services, right? They're given to us, they're offered to us by for-profit companies. I understand why. It takes money to build models and run data centers, etc. But the professor caught, catching ChatGPT cutting corners. If these are profit maximizing enterprises, right? And it's cutting corners, so my trust level is not what it used to be after reading that article. So in all the utopia, there is a dystopia, and I think we should all, it made me, right, after reading it, it increased my dose of skepticism, of healthy skepticism, because I will continue, right, using these tools. And yeah, So here's a playlist. You can explore on your own or create your own. Okay. Uh, uh, I want to, I want to urge everybody, all the staff members in our mix, and if we have faculty members, you have other ways, right, of raising hopefully funds for professional development. But for academic professionals and civil service staff now, there's a staff professional development fund that is available. You can earn up to $500 for going to a conference, registering for something like the EDUCAUSE Teaching with AI seminar, as long as your unit approves the event, right? And they're willing to contribute money as well. I will let you, right, go to the webpage where it's described. To make things a little easy for you, I did create a box folder where I'm sharing for all of you who have U of I credentials. If you're a community member and you don't, feel free to send me an email. My email, I forgot to add it actually. It's KNY. The N is as a Nancy, KNY, at illinois.edu. And I'm free to share with you what's on this box, which is nothing else but a spreadsheet with my list of expenses, anticipated expenses, and my the one page that has the blurb that I wrote to make a pitch to the Office of the Provost, right, reviewers. And thank you to them and for funding, right, my application, and of course my unit and my boss for approving my time and to go to the conference. I don't know if anybody else has pursued the Staff Professional Development Award. This is something you could share in the chat, and any other experience you have with it that might be helpful to the other participants today. Okay, some additional resources in our college. Our philosophy department has created a certificate, Ethics of AI. It's, I believe, a 3-course certificate that our students can pursue. And I know there's a lot of initiative across academic units. This is just one that is in our college. And I'm sharing it. APSIA, a lot of us, right, people in CITL, Atlas, rest of staff are in IT or supporting online education. APSIA is an organization that focuses on online learning, professional development, bringing together people from that world. You can sign up for their newsletters. You can attend their conferences. Budget constraints, right, are on the increase. So there's a lot of online events that they do as well. And in one of the newsletters I was reviewing a couple of days ago, I saw a quote from Ray Schroeder, who is a professor emeritus at our sister campus, University of Illinois Springfield. And he, of course, takes a very optimistic view of the implications of that AI will have on education. And he thoroughly believes, right, our lives will be improved by AI. And I believe that too. But of course, we have to approach it with caution and take safety precautions, especially when it comes to data privacy. Yeah. So I have, I think, a couple more slides. So just try to populate your calendar with summer of our events. Thank you, CITL, for putting such a great series together. Back in your offices, at work, engage with your peers, talk about AI, right? And try to learn from them and share with them, right? If you learn something today or another session from Summer of AI, right? Be intentional, right? Create an opportunity to share. You got staff meetings, ask the facilitator, hey, I'd like to talk a little bit about something I learned in a conference I went to, a webinar I attended, or a Summer of AI session. Be intentional about seeking out professional development opportunities in your field of work. And there's no shortage, right, of opportunities out there. What I shared today is just like, right, a drop in the ocean, right, of opportunities that are available. Very importantly, play with it. It took me a while to begin playing. I was reading about it, and then Copilot, I said, okay, the university is making it available to us. There seems to be data protection. That actually eased my, let's say, increased my motivation to experiment with it, the data protection. So big incentive for me because I do have a lot of concerns about companies, what they do with our data, especially when they're offering free access to us. And that's why in the session description, I put the word free free webinars, because there's usually a catch, right? They want to make a sell. ChatGPT sure will give us access to its free version, but once we discover some of its limitations, right, you will probably consider paying the monthly fee. And I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't. That's your decision. I forgot to do a disclaimer earlier for those opportunities I shared for my social media. I wasn't promoting any of them. The goal there was just to show you how many there are out there. Zoom's AI companion, that's something I'm experimenting the last 2 or 3 weeks. A colleague 4 weeks ago showed us how to enable transcription in Microsoft Teams and then ask Copilot to summarize it. That's another use, right, that we have. Thank you, Rami. And you can do the same with Zoom, enable transcription. I think Zoom's AI companion automatically does the summary of the key points and the action items. With experimentation, the sky is the limit. Okay, so just try to do it. I think it's important to begin right to know what's possible with these technology, with this AI technology. Try to take advantage of our institutions subscription, right? We're a member of EDUCAUSE and APSIA. EDUCAUSE, of course, has a national conference. It's a bit expensive, right? It's about $1,000, if I remember correctly, to register. They do have an online event that comes a little bit after the national conference. That takes place in the fall. The online event is considerably cheaper. Okay, $1,000 versus, I think, a couple hundred. So that's substantially more cost effective. Research opportunities, make a decision, prioritize them, 1, 2, 3, price tag next to it. Make a proposal to your supervisor. Hey, I'd like to pursue some opportunities in this field because it's important. Negotiate with them, right? We know that budgets, right, are getting a little tighter. And don't forget that you have the Staff Professional Development Fund available to you. Okay.
We had a couple people drop a few extra links.
Okay.
One for a ethics of AI certificate.
Excellent.
And then a link to a free Coursera course of generative AI for university leaders and University of Maryland Business School free AI applications.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you to the people sharing the resources. Very helpful. I look forward to reviewing the chat and asking Copilot to summarize it on my behalf. Thank you for sharing those. I think I have a couple more slides. Again, remember to seek out local expertise. We're an amazing institution, right? There's no shortage of scholars that are doing amazing things, right, in this field of AI, including our incoming chancellor. Yeah, faculty, some of our colleagues, those of you that are staff members, are doing amazing things and using very creatively, right, to speed up tasks and do new things, right? And of course, our students. You look forward to the student research showcase that takes place every year, usually at the Atlantic Union, to see what they're gonna have to tell us about the ways they're using AI, right, to improve the world and help them with their coursework and other areas. So this is my slide deck. Okay. I want to thank all of you for participating. The remote attendees and Yoon for coming in person, Andrew for helping out, and Alex, everybody in CITL for hosting us. Last slide is a slide that CITL asked me to show. And if everybody can please, take a minute or two. I did it for a couple of other sessions. Scan the QR code and provide a little feedback about today's sessions. We can do better. And I did not have anything else prepared. We do have a few minutes for any questions people would like to ask. So I'd like to open it for questions. Got about eight minutes.
No questions.
Doesn't sound like we have any questions. Thanks again. Oh, okay.
Is AI being used by Atlas in helping courses become more accessible?
That's a great question. Many of us have been attending the accessibility quick start workshops, and in particular, one that was given in this very same room a couple of days ago by Mark Thompson, Sri of CITL, and Professor Zhang of GIS. So to the best of my knowledge, that tool that we are interested in using is not available to us yet. It might become. I think GIS courses are experimenting with this. So that's one AI tool that we have looked at helping us out. But other than this, using one right now, I don't believe we are using an AI tool to help us with accessibility. But if anybody knows of a tool we can use, please let us know. Okay. Thank you for that question. So if there are no other questions, thanks again to everybody attending and helping, and see you in another Summer of AI session soon, I hope. Okay. Bye-bye.